Before we begin to create with the airbrush, I'm going to talk a little bit about the icings, which are the medium which we decorate upon. The first one being buttercream, and the other one is fondant icing. The buttercream is used on cakes for the most part, the fondant is on cookies. Back to the buttercream. I like buttercream on cakes because the stencils lay on it nice. You can lay a stencil on, hold it down, and when you stencil on it, you get a nice clean edge on the lines, and you can lift it off without the icing sticking, given that the icing has set up already. You need to give icing a little bit of time to set up before you lay the stencil on it. Also, buttercream holds the food color very well and is solid enough that if you get the airbrush pretty close to it, you can get small lines and dots without blowing holes in the icing. Now the cookie icing is even better because you can lay a stencil on there within 5 or 10 minutes of actually icing it, and lay the stencil on, spray it, and pull it off, and you won't have icing sticking to the stencil. You'll get a nice clean edge. Also, one thing to keep into consideration is that the cookies ice smooth. If it's not very smooth, sometimes you get air pockets underneath the stencil, and the food color spreads out underneath the stencil, and you don't get a nice clean line. Okay, we're moving right along. We've gotten through the cardboard, practicing on cardboard, on the lines, the stencils, the whole bit. Now we're going to work on the real thing, the cake and the cookies that I talked to you about before. And I'll demonstrate how to get these nice and bright and colorful in a very quick and efficient way. So we're going to be fast, so hang on. Now I'm starting out with black because I'm going to stencil the cookies first. That way when I go back to the colors that I'm going to use, I will have the black in place already. So you always want to get the stencils done first. I'm going to do a couple of my favorite football team. So I hope you non-Packer fans will bear with me. And a couple for, they have stencils that are pre-cut. They have several assorted messages. I'm going to make one that you can do to impress your boss if you want to get that promotion. Here's one for Mom. I'm a mama's boy, so this cookie's going to say, "Great Mom." And how about "Wonderful Dad," since Dad taught me how to do this stuff. Okay, now that we've gotten the black down, I'm going to change to assorted colors. The different colors are going to tie into each of the 3 products I'm doing. I'm intending on making the cupcakes multicolored. I'm going to make the cake multicolored on the side as well, and a little bit of tint on the top. And later on in the show, we'll decorate that cake. And the cookies, I'll do Green Bay Packer colors and whatever I feel like doing on here. But the idea is to do it from a production standpoint, so you're not changing colors so often. You want to be able to do pick one color, go with it all along before you change colors. Make sure you have everything that color, and then you move along. So now what I'm doing is cleaning out our black. Always got to make sure the black is cleared out of there well, because I'm going to switch to yellow. Yellow is a pretty soft, pale color, and if you don't have the dark, dirty color out of there, it'll pick up some of that. So, okay, starting with the cake, I'm going to get the gun in nice and tight, close enough that I don't blow out the icing. But I want to get as fine of a line as possible because my goal is to get as many colors on here, and I'm going to keep them isolated from each other instead of blending them on the sides. So I want to get a nice fine line, and that's what I've done there. I'm also going to make a pale yellow border on the inside, which is not quite as visible, but I want it to be pale because the flowers and the writing are going to be on top of a cake, and you don't want the airbrushing to take away from the writing, because that's the message you're trying to convey. The writing is the number one aspect of it. So the airbrushing that you do on a background of a cake really should be something that doesn't take away from that. Okay, so I'm still on yellow. Now I'm doing these Packer cookies. I did the yellow. I'm not worried about the green yet because I'm going to come back to that color later on. I'm going to spray just the edge of these cupcakes, this side first. And later on I'm going to come back and turn the board and I'm going to spray it from a different angle. And by the time I'm done with them, I'll have 4 different colors on them, but in a way that they don't run into each other and make each other color look muddy. So that's it for the yellow. I like to switch from lighter colors to darker colors going through, because the if the gun isn't quite as cleared out, the colors don't show so much. Now I'm doing pink. Okay, for Mom's cookie's going to be pink. I'm just going to spray a nice light pink border around there for her. I'm spraying these cupcakes from the other side now, the other angle. Notice at a sharp, instead of spraying down at them so you get a straight line, I'm spraying at a distance and from a low profile so that it sweeps across. And each time I change directions, I'm letting up on the pressure. I don't keep continuing spraying, otherwise I'd have overspray over here and there. Okay, some purple. And a little purple on here. Keeping the gun down low. And now I'm going to go to blue. Actually, we'll do Boss's cake here with a little purple.